Welcome back to the basement, the friendliest place on YouTube.
It's time for You Choose How We Play Breath of the Wild.
We're gonna unlock the 10,000 rupee fairy, fight a bunch of Hinoxes.
And we're also gonna read some fan fiction written by you guys, and to top it all off, we're gonna do a little bit of poetry. Well, I hope you guys got your snapping fingers ready, because we promised a special prize to one of our viewers when Peter attempted the diagonal run across from the top right stable in Akala all the way down to the Gerudo stable.
I think I just killed a cricket.
Probably. I hope his name wasn't Jiminy.
Oh.
No more conscience for us.
Oh.
Anyway.
It's the Holy Spirit.
Jiminy Cricket is the Holy Spirit.
We owe him.
Fan theory.
It's your conscience. We owe the Logical Pianist poems.
Yes, because Peter's time that he got on that, we checked the dates. We did the double check-in. Somehow, I don't know how. Maybe
guessed it on the nose.
Maybe they're a time traveler, but they guessed Peter's time for that challenge on the nose to the second.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Which, that's insanity. But we promised that we would do a poem for the winner, whoever's closest. So they were closest without going over. So no, we weren't doing whatever that show is rules.
Yeah,
but
nope.
It's time for us to read a poem.
Okay, let me read mine real quick.
before you fight this Hinox.
Here, we'll get a poetic shot there. Oh, perfect.
Ooh,
okay.
That looks great. Okay, get your snapping fingers ready, or at least hashtag snap for when this poem's done.
The logical pianist is grand. Let's all give him a hand. He guessed my time, which is quite sublime, when I traveled across the land. Oh, Wayne took out his sword when I did that because I set down the... Okay.
Perfect. Okay, that was Peter's limerick, or what did you say? Your iambic pentameter?
It's just my poem.
Da 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 da. All right. Now here's my poem. A typical.
Typical tattoo green.
It is a haiku, which haikus have a very specific structure: 5 syllables followed by 9 syllables followed by 5 syllables.
Right.
And they also usually incorporate some kind of nature imagery. So I really tried I actually worked on this pretty hard. So remember the name of the creator, or the YouTuber that guessed not YouTuber, but viewer who guessed the time. Their name is Logical Pianist. So I don't know if you guys caught Peter's "The Logical Pianist is grand," like a little slip of the little tricky little double word meanings. Okay.
Hey, I think I just one-shotted that Hinox.
Yeah, you did. He didn't even know what hit him.
I killed it faster than you could set up your poem.
All right, here's my haiku.
Wow, I never had a black and crab before.
Can I be quiet for my haiku?
I'm ready. I'm sorry. Whoa, it's...
This is not appropriate haiku atmosphere.
It's a Mega Man.
We're just going to let you take this guy out. This is not... no one's going to be able to listen to a haiku with all this music going on.
That's bad.
You had him. I don't know what happened. There goes your tree. Oh, you missed. You guys, this haiku is worth it, okay? I just want you guys to know that right now.
Usually when I play, there's not much action, so I'm trying to atone for my ways, and I'm doing too good of a job.
Yeah, you really are. Okay.
Is he dead?
No, not quite.
This is a good axe.
Why don't you do the spinny thing?
I didn't think it would take that many, and I forget how to cancel it.
Throw that axe. Throw that axe.
I'm gonna.
Throw that axe. Hashtag throw that axe.
Throw it his dumb eye. Open your dumb eye.
Ow!
That was a cool way to finish.
My dumb eye hurts now. Oh, it's rolling away. All right, you guys ready for my haiku? Ooh, did you just get a giant ancient core?
I think I did.
Nice.
Hardcore. Okay, go ahead.
Here's this haiku that you guys have all been waiting for.
I've been waiting.
Thoughtful keyboardist. Your wisdom perplexes us. A spring lotus blooms.
Very nice. Very nice.
You always got to snap to clap for a poem. Because otherwise it's too startling for all the people who are thinking about imagery and stuff.
I gotta drop one of these crummy
So yeah, Peter's fighting Hinoxes. We got a bunch of Hinoxes marked on a map.
That's
He's
right.
gonna see how many he can kill in this episode. In one episode.
Yep, just fought that one. We're gonna go
that
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
He's
We're
gonna see if
probably
he
not
can
gonna do them all.
He's gonna see if he can get them all. And in the meantime, I'm gonna move on in our fan fiction story that has been being written about us and other basement viewers. Stay tuned for yourself. You may be listed in the story at some point. But
she does a nice job incorporating others.
Yes, Chi Panda is writing this fan fiction story, and I think they're also getting some help from other basement dwellers. Are doing some editing.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Do So Confidently and the Collective are editing.
The Collective is editing too. Wow.
Yep, they're taking turns. I do believe.
Which, by the way, you guys should really check out Do So Confidently's channel and the Collective's channel.
Yeah.
They are just great people. We just think they are good people.
They are good people, and they also have good content.
That's true. Especially Kenai, the Collective, his his voice is so
he does
good.
have a voice built for radio.
Yeah, he really does.
Okay. I'm not going to say that he has a face built for radio.
No, that would be a mean thing to say.
Right.
That's what somebody told me once when I worked at Taco Bell.
That you have a face for radio?
Yeah. The jerk.
Someone once told me I have a voice for the newspaper.
Oh, that's sad.
It's even worse.
You have a face for a newspaper. It's black and white. What? It's recycled. What?
You know what I'm saying.
I think you know what I'm trying to get at.
I think we all know what we're saying.
So, to kind of catch you guys up to where we've been in the story, maybe you missed it or you forgot. It's been a little while. It's been 10 episodes or so of this series. That's like 5 weeks.
It's been a while.
So here is what's going on. So me and Peter were, put into this game because we have to beat the game. Otherwise, the AI that makes up the game will be hacked by evil terrorists, and in the future will destroy the entire planet. We were recruited by a future Danny the Two when he came back to our basement house, and he told us the plot of the story that we have to now be incorporated in. And we accepted the invitation to save the planet and the future and everybody in it.
Yeah, we did. That's just the kind of basement dwellers we are.
So we put on our Matrix helmets and we got put into the game, and it built this world around us. And lo and behold, we've been meeting different basement dweller, viewers in the game. So, and different stuff is happening. The most recent of which things that happened was we were trained by Mr. Beedrill how to use swords and how to fight, because he apparently is a cat, an anthropomorphized cat who can wield weapons. So he taught us to fight, and then we went out, and then some goblins were attacking some people, and I think they're like in a goblin village, and we recruited some help. We met Christy. There's a Tom here, which I don't know. I can't remember who Tom is supposed to be. Maybe his name's just Tom. And Tom.
Maybe it's Tom Bombadil from.
Oh, that guy. It was so weird that he wasn't in the movies at all.
Maybe you should just start. Well, they had to cut something out. You gotta start reading.
I'm gonna start reading. We're only 7 minutes in. So, all right.
Yeah,
the last thing that happened is that. Outside of the house, Tom ran through the street looking for an ally with a torch. Tom's on our team. He found one quite quickly due to a large horde of goblins all around.
Thank goodness.
And he managed to get the torch from him and hurled it through the second-story window of Christie's house. Tom got excited when he saw the torch almost immediately hit something flammable and catch the house on fire. Wait, is Tom bad? Or Tom good? Because he just started Christie's house on fire. I'm lost. Let's just read on and see if we can figure it out.
Sometimes a house needs to start on fire so the young saplings can grow.
Yeah,
Not enough sunshine was getting to the floor.
Sometimes the
Christie's
phoenix
house.
needs to burn out, so from its ashes.
I'm sorry, I'm interrupting so much, but I just did like parkour on the bike. It was really cool.
I think that's called a trick.
No, it was definitely like bike parkour. You're gonna have to rewind the video and watch it again. It was really cool. Even if you saw it, do it. Uh-oh. I see a flyer, a stalker, and there's gonna be a Hinox. Okay, you keep going.
All right. The fire quickly spread down the stairs as the battle in the living quarters took place. 2 more goblins had gone down and only 3 remained. Another leaped at Christy, but her reflexes were fast enough to catch the goblin by the neck. She tossed it over her head and into the fire that continued to creep down the stairs. One leaped at Ted, only to be rejected by Ted's shield. Pow! I added that onomatopoeia. Pow! The goblin fell to the floor and Ted finished it with his short sword. Pshink! Peter was having trouble battling the final goblin. His long sword was not made for little speedy creatures such as this one. The goblin jumped on Peter's shoulder and raised its dagger. Peter had to do something quickly. He reached at his waist, drew Tom's dagger, and impaled the goblin before it did the same to him.
Whoa.
The fire was all around the building. Oh. We need to get out here. I think it meant to say out of here. Ted yelled as the smoke of the fire thickened. Oh, maybe I coughed in between or something. We need to get out of here. Ted yelled as the smoke of the fire thickened. The front door was clear of flames, so the trio darted for the door.
Do I have to wait for nightfall for this guy?
Yes, you do. It's almost there, isn't it?
All right, read on.
So wait,
good man.
The trio is me, Peter, and Christy. So Tom must be a bad guy. Weird. Okay. Okay. Almost all the buildings were burned to the ground, and lifeless humans and beast men were scattered throughout the streets. They looked back to make sure Christy made it out all right. Okay, wait, maybe Tom is a good guy. They saw that she still stood in the house. Christy, what are you doing? Get out of there, Ted demanded. Maverick is still upstairs, she yelled back and attempted and ran up the stairs. Christy, no! Ted tried to get her, but he was kept from running back in by Peter. Ted, I can't let you die! Christy!
Oh,
As
man.
Peter was pulling Ted away from the burning building, he and Ted saw Maverick launch from the second-story window and soar off into the sky. Peter noticed a white slip of paper was tied to his leg as he flew out of the village. Suddenly, the building exploded and the roof collapsed. From the explosion, a humanoid object engulfed in flames fell from the second-story window and crashed in the street. Christy yelled out as he ripped himself from Peter's grasp. Peter was horrified at the sight and followed Ted. Ted stood almost in tears, staring at the humanoid figure, completely black of ash. It was hardly recognizable as human. Oh,
wow.
God, it's dark. As Ted sat looking at the body of their new friend, Peter saw that goblins were congregating around them. Peter grabbed Ted and forced him to run to the village before they met their end, too. They sprinted to the gates of Friendliest.
That's a good plot device to no time to mourn. We gotta move on.
Yeah, and then once everything's calm, then everybody mourns.
Right, but it kind of takes away some of the disturbingness of that.
That's true, because otherwise they have to just talk about, how the skin is all bubbled up like bad pizza.
How do I?
It's got to be dark, all the way dark.
Think about bad pizza.
Wow.
It's still good.
That's true. Yeah, I've never had a pizza. Well, okay. If it can actually be classified as pizza, then it's good.
We'll blow up his butt.
But I will say, but that was cool. Double explosion.
Can you wake up now, please? Now?
No, I'm sleepy. All right. As Ted sat, looking at the body of their new friend, village before they met their end too, sprinted to the gates of Friendliest side by side. Suddenly, without warning, a wooden plank projected out from the side of the gate, striking both Peter and Ted in the head, and they flipped up and crashed to the ground unconscious. So somebody, clotheslined us, I think is what happened. Whoa. Tom chuckled to himself as... Oh, that's right, Tom was the goblin. Chuckled to himself as he put the wooden plank to the ground. "Yeah, got ya, you stupid blighters. Oi, Henry, get round here." Another goblin answered Tom's call and waddled over. "What have you done, Tom?" "I've got myself 2 humans. I've hit 'em out with a block of wood." "Nice on you, Tom. Are we gonna get 'em? Oh, gonna gut 'em?" "No, of course not, Henry. We'll cook 'em and celebrate our victory." "Oh, good thinking, mate. Cheers, Henry." I love those guys. But they're evil, though. So I hate them.
But you like their accent?
Yeah. It's all written like that, by the way, guys. Just so you know, I wasn't just making that up. I would assume that that's the accent that goes with the way that those words are written. Okay. A man sat with crossed legs and his head down on top of a tall rock deep into the forest. Ooh. Oh, gosh, this is cool. He wore dark orange underclothes with black leather padding in certain areas of his body. He wore a dark orange hood that shrouded his whole face except for his chin and the dark facial hair around his mouth. I'm getting chills. I think I know who this is.
Well, I think I know who it is.
This is cool.
Do I gotta wait for midnight for this guy?
The hood's back flowed into the nighttime wind. A bow was strapped to his back and a quiver of arrows was at his side. Maverick let out his majestic cry as he soared through the air and toward the man. As Maverick approached the man, he slowed and the man extended his right arm and allowed Maverick to rest softly on it. The man pulled a piece of paper from Maverick's leg and allowed Maverick to fly away. He unraveled the paper and read the note on it, crumpled it up in his hand, and stood from the sitting position on the rock. He raised his head, his face still shrouded by the hood. Suddenly from the darkness within the hood, a small red light lit up where the man's right eye should have been. The man leaped from the rock and into the dark forest below. That is cool. That's so much fun when you're kind of like, I know who that is.
Yeah.
And then it was.
Ted, should I give up on this guy?
Yeah.
It's almost midnight and he's not awake.
Oh, okay. If you know who that is,
comment below.
Comment below. If you don't know who that is, comment, I don't know who that is.
And if you know what I'm doing wrong to not wake this guy up.
And if someone says I don't know who that is, somebody else comment below
their comment
who that is.
Easy.
All right, that's the end of episode 2, but I'm gonna move on to episode 3 because we've got episode 3 just sitting in our. So no, we're not gonna do any cliffhangers for you guys. You're getting the real deal today. Cool. So that was chapter 2.
Well done, Ted.
All right, I'm gonna zoom in here for my old man eyes because I'm 32 years old. Are you guys ready? You ready for the story, Peter?
I'm ready.
All right.
My hands are sweaty.
Knees weak, arms are ready.
I know it.
All right, episode 3, down the stairs. What are you doing?
Oh, you know, just hanging around.
Gosh. Sounds blurred together, indistinguishable. Ted tried to open his eyes, but the extreme throbbing pain surging throughout his head denied his wish to see. He tried to move, but again the engulfing pain sapped him of the strength to use the muscles in his limbs, and he could feel his whole body bouncing up and down without his control. Ted still had no clue what was happening. He tried to retrace his steps in order to deduce how he ended up in this scenario. It was difficult to recall the previous events from his memory. He tried harder, but this train of thought was broken because it only worsened the pain. He wanted to know what was happening. He wanted to know where he was, where Peter was, and why it felt like his weight was being supported at his upper legs and shoulders.
Uh-oh.
As he wondered these things, he began to realize these thoughts came quicker, and with less pain, his headache was easing. Again, he attempted to recall the past. This time, he was able to remember, but only fragments, key moments of what he had been through at this point. Friendlinder, vendors, guard, Christy Tina, goblins, fire, Ash, Maverick. Christy is gone. That's where Ted blanked. He couldn't remember enough to fill in the gaps, to connect those events to his current position. Ted drew enough strength into his lungs to let a call for Peter spill sloppery from his mouth. He heard no response. He sensed no light through his closed eyelids, and all he could hear were the sounds of many footsteps softly stepping through the leaves and grass. Soft steps, small steps. Goblin steps. He concluded he was being carried through a dark forest by a troop of goblins. He wanted to struggle, but he couldn't. Strength continued to recover until he was able to open his eyes. As he examined his surroundings, he discovered this conclusion was correct. He saw that his body was tied up in rope, and holding him up from beneath were 2 goblins. He saw no sign of his weapons.
My friend Ted, tied up in rope. He is my favorite game-playing dope.
I was gonna say, I hope you call me a dope. I sure hope.
It's one of the funniest, harmlessest insults.
It's true. You dope.
It's so funny. Okay, go on.
Ted tried to figure out where he was as his eyes soaked in the sights around him. They were marching through a forest, but not the same one as Peter and he had found themselves in before. This area was quite dense. The trees looked sickly, but not as though they were dying. To him, it seemed as if the trees enjoyed the darkness and pain that they were shrouded in. light from the moon seeped through the blackened canopy, illuminating the tree's every horrifying fault. Man, the imagery is really good here.
Yeah.
The troop ran along a path forged by passage of many goblins through this area. He rolled his head to the right. Some slight relief washed over him as he saw Peter alive, but in the same position as himself. His longsword and dagger were also gone.
Oh.
Peter turned his head and managed a weak smile as he acknowledged Ted's consciousness.
So.
That's what so. Ted shifted his gaze upward as he caught a glimpse of a red glow coming from deep within the dark of the forest. As he stared at this ominous light, it made him shiver as if it were reaching into his soul. It stood still, unmoving, as if waiting for its prey. Suddenly, Ted's eyes were stung by a blinding light that pierced the surrounding area. A huge uproar ignited among the goblins. Ted found himself falling as the support below him gave out, causing him to slam against a nearby tree. His eyes recovered in time to see an arrowhead burst forth from a goblin's forehead right before his eyes.
Wow.
It's now a lifeless body collapsed on top of him. Ted freaked out and squirmed until it slipped off of him. Oh, jeez. Now, just so you guys know, if you're wondering if this is family friendly, it still is, because goblins
aren't human.
And their insides are made out of jelly. So it's like a tasty snack.
I guess.
I mean, is it not family friendly when you bite a gummy bear? No, it's the friendliest of snacks. That and goldfish.
Can't argue
and
with
they
that.
Smile at you while you're destroying their life.
And goldfish are actually real. I mean, not real goldfish, though.
Goldfish are the masochistic snack. The snack that smiles back because they're sick. They shouldn't be enjoying this.
Derive pleasure from pain.
Okay. A battle had commenced between the goblins and another force. From the sky, an angelic figure bathed in light hovered above the troop of goblins, flapping the bright, majestic wings upon its back. It moved its hands to create a trail of light. Then, reaching into it, pulled forth a luminous spear as if it were molded from light itself. It raised this spear high above its head and folded its wings, falling from the sky and piercing the ground at the center of the commotion of goblins with a blast of light, sending a shock wave outward and goblins into the air. Something was moving through the forest toward the conflict. Flanking from the left, a wolf beast woman tore through the trees and leapt into the fray, immediately ripping multiple goblins to shreds with her vicious claws. And jelly went everywhere.
What's coming from Kitty's ears? That's strawberry jam rod.
Flanking the right side, where the red glow had been, a man with a red glowing eye flipped out into the forest. With a bow in his hand, loosed an arrow through the sky and downed a goblin before landing on his feet. He immediately knocked another arrow and fell a second goblin. With extreme speed and accuracy, he continued down goblin after goblin with an arrow each. Such a good choice to make him a bow-wielding,
yes,
person. Because I'll just come out and say it. If you're going to shoot things, you got to have a keen eye.
Whoa!
I'm going to go ahead and assume that we're right about that. That'd be really dumb if we weren't.
Yeah.
Cool. Here we go. As the beast woman tore through more of the goblins, Tom drew the dagger he had stolen back from Peter and crept up to her, the blade raised. The man at the bow caught a glimpse of him and shouted, "Melly, behind you!" Oh, Melly! Melly wolf. Get it?
Oh,
She's a wolf. As he loosed an arrow that impaled Tom's wrist, forcing him to drop his weapon. That's the sound he probably made. Melly snarled as he snapped her leg behind her, kicking Tom square in the chest, sending him crashing into a tree. Tom recovered after letting out a shout of pain. He called for his friend Henry. He looked for him at the sidelines of the battle. He caught sight of him and began to call out again, but he was quickly silenced by the sight of Henry being knocked into the air by the light creature's spear, then immediately pierced through the head with an arrow before falling back to the ground. Tom quickly abandoned the troop and waddled toward the forest. The arrow was still stuck through his wrist, making sure to give Peter a swift kick of vengeance before disappearing amongst the trees. The man with the bow continued to bring down goblins at range, while Melly and the light creature battled the goblins in melee. They busted out their Game Cubes and tube TVs, and they had a good melee battle.
I'm terrible at catching fairies.
Yeah, that's sad. Are we at the final theory?
Well, it's been 20. I beat like 2 Hinox in the first 3 minutes, and then none in the last 17.
Well, you know what? We're just gonna mark the story here, I think, because we should finish up this battle, I think. Okay.
Here's how you unlock the last fairy. Save up a lot of rupees.
Yeah. Well, we didn't have to save up a bunch. I think I just sold a bunch of stuff. Because we had a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah, you sold a bunch of diamonds, and people in the comments were like, no.
And it's like, it's fine. We'll get more.
I'll get more.
Yep.
Oh, green eyeshadow. That's a lot of guitar picks.
That's a lot of pizza.
Pizza. I was thinking bugles.
I was thinking bugles too at first,
snacks.
And then I realized it looked more like pizza. Or candy corn. That's a lot of candy corn.
How would you like to live here with me?
So we're going to finish out this battle here. The light creature held its ground, handling its spear with great skill, eliminating goblins who attacked low, and those who jumped high, either by quick jabs in the head of the glowing spear, or simply knocking them down with the butt end. A few of the goblins were knocked out of range of melee, and the light creature hurriedly strategized to attack on the one causing the most casualties, the archer. 4 of them began to charge at him, diving left and right, dodging his arrows. Before the archer had time to react, he was taken to the ground, dropping his bow, with all 4 goblins now at his throat. The man struggled to hold the goblins from either stabbing or choking him. Oh no, they're attacking Kenai. From beneath the attack goblins, the archer called out, how about a hand, Light? Oh, okay, it's Light from the Discord. After finishing another goblin that was crawling on him, Light shouted, I got you, Kenai. Holding his spear at rest in his left hand, he flung out his right hand, sending shards of light toward Kenai. And the shards of light caught 3 of the 4 goblins, entering their bodies with enough force to knock them off of Kenai. As the last shard came flying in, Kenai's reflexes allowed him to catch it between his fingers. With the weight upon him significantly lightened, he kicked up, knocking the remaining goblin into the air. Kenai jumped to his feet, threw the shard upward as the goblin collided with one of the many tree branches above the road. The shard of light pierced it through the chest, pinning it to the spot. Wow. Yay! You upgraded your Hylian trousers.
I did.
Nice. Kenai scooped his bow from the ground and climbed a nearby tree with amazing agility. He perched himself upon a branch, pulling off his hood to reveal his full appearance. His right eye was metallic, his pupils shone an ominous red. Knocking as many arrows into his bow as he could hold between his fingers, he drew the string back and sat for a moment, scanning the battlefield. His right eye danced in all directions, taking sight of all the surviving goblin in the fray. He tensed fingers released, setting the many arrows free to soar. Each arrow had a different target, and each arrow hit their mark. Oh, that's cool. After the incredible display of talent, no goblins were left standing. The glow of his eye dimmed to a mild, deep red as he jumped to the ground to regroup with Melly and Light, who stood smiling at Kenai's feet. Wow. What an intense battle. What an intense episode.
Agreed.
Peter, what was your favorite part of the episode so far?
I liked the part where the Kenai was being introduced subtly and in great detail.
Yeah, that was
because it created a lot of anticipation.
Yeah. By the time that we knew he was Kenai, I already knew. But I bet a lot of our viewers probably didn't know that.
Yeah, it's pretty
because you guys aren't on the Discord yet. You guys should join the Discord. You guys should hang out with some of the other basement dwellers when we aren't here all together in these videos. And until next time, basement dwellers, we think that you are more poetic than
Rod and Todd watching Itchy and Scratchy, much to their father's dismay. In the basement. A very important part of how the basement is able to bring you the content that we do daily is our wonderful YouTube sponsors and Patreon patrons listed on the screen now.
If you would like to join this amazing group of people who are helping the basement to make even more content and do even more streams, you can go ahead and click the link in the description or on the screen right now. And we'd love to have you join us in making the basement not just the friendliest place on YouTube, but the most awesome place on the planet.
In our solar system.
In our universe.
In the basement.